finally your home meet. How are you just feeling about your squad at this point of the season?
We're ranked second in RPI. I mean, this is actually going into this event. This is probably the highest win percentage we've ever had at this point in the season. I mean, we're at over 80% clip or whatever. So it's good, but I mean, obviously, you know, we're in second. We have high expectations here, so that's not the goal. And so hopefully we can try to find a way to play well the last 3-4 tournaments here and before regionals and whatnot. And I'd like to try to, you know, if we can hunt down Jacksonville because they're 1 in RPI, try to kind of hunt them down a little bit. But, you know, obviously that doesn't matter totally because you want to just be in the top 4. But, you know, we always set high standard, high goals, so.
Yeah. Another home meet where it's one of the best fields in the country. I mean, how much does having a field like this really prepare you guys for the home stretch of the year?
We play a lot of fields like this anyways, but like, you know, probably the hardest field was actually this last tournament we bowled, the ITRC, because it's all the top teams there, and it's smaller number of teams, right? And so when you only have 12 teams and everybody's good, you know, it's a little more difficult because you just don't have as many opponents to face at different times. Because I mean, you can get beat by anybody. Everybody's good. Even in this field, you can lose to any team that's basically here. But you know, when you get more variety of opponents, it usually allows for a better chance at a higher record, basically. So like at the Northeast Classic, there was more variety of teams that you're playing, and we went 13-0, and even though we finished third, and we were 10-3 at the ITRC, and we finished second. You know, so had a better record at the Northeast Classic, and not a good record at the ITRC, but we finished higher. You know, so you know, because a lot of how the bracket is determined is by pinfall. When you have a super big event, you can't play everybody once, so they always use pinfall as the determination for the brackets. That's why we finished third in Northeast Classic. But you know, I'm obviously pleased with the fact of, you know, when you get that break for a month and a half or whatever during the Christmas break, you know, that first tournament can kind of come out a little flat, and we came out. I mean, we weren't like super sharp, and we were winning matches, but we found a way to we were pretty sharp by the end, and went 13-0, and started to get sharper ITRC, and I feel like we're getting even more sharp now. We're starting to get a lot of the bowling balls figured out. Like, one thing in our sport is bowling balls play a big factor, and you know, we made an equipment change. We decided to basically throw all the brands or whatnot, so we can throw whatever. And so with that, it takes a little while to figure out all the bowling balls for everybody after going, because you know, when you're with one company, the characteristics are pretty similar, so you kind of know exactly how to drill everything and exactly how to put everything. But when you start going from throwing mainly one company to throwing a couple of companies, you got to figure out, okay, what's the characteristics of this company's bowling ball compared to this company's bowling ball, and then get the right balls in everybody's hand. So it takes a little while to build that, you know, because basically the whole goal is to have a six-ball arsenal. You have a spare ball and then 5 other balls. And so you got to get those other 5 balls to be like, to equate it to like golf, you got to have the 1 wood, the, you know, 2 iron, 5 iron, 7 iron, 9 iron, and then your putter, basically. And so you're trying to figure out the right shapes of the bowling balls for everybody to get lined up. And that was a transition at the beginning of the year. I mean, we won the first event of the year at Youngstown, and we weren't even close to matched up with all the equipment. And so we're starting to get to that point, so that part is really good. Obviously, we've been battling a little bit of injury stuff, but I mean, everybody can compete, but just small little nagging things. But so, I mean, for the most part, I like where we're at. It just, you know, you always, being greedy, you always want to get to the top, so.
No, got a whole lot of veterans on this squad. Like, what's kind of been the biggest jump you kind of seen from them this whole entire season?
Emma Stoll had to step up a lot the first semester. She played the anchor spot the first semester a lot. Brooklyn was out the first event. She was injured or whatnot. And so she Emma stepped up pretty nice first semester. And then, Faith Welch is starting to get healthy, because she had wrist surgery over the summer. And so getting her dead healthy or whatnot. And then, from there, just getting everybody healthy on that side. So, she stepped up big, We bowled Jacksonville in a match or whatever at the ITRC on Sunday, and they didn't have an open, and we beat them still. They were 50 clean, so they didn't have one open, and we ended up beating them, and Welch threw the back 6 or whatever, and that's a kid that, you want to go to battle with. She's a bulldog. She ain't going to back down from anybody, so she's got a lot of leadership in that role. So proud of that aspect of stuff. And then even though they're not your older veterans because they're only sophomores, but Toma and Van Dynen have stepped up nice. Carly's had to play some anchor spot, and Maggie had some really good moments as well at times too. And so they're getting to be more like, even though they're still like sophomores, they're becoming more like veterans. Obviously, they played on TV, and so I kind of like where we're at. But like I said, this is probably the highest my team's ever won at. So you think we've been number one multiple times. You think you'd be number one, but Jacksonville, they're winning at an 87% clip or whatever, and they're kind of setting the standard. We got to find a way to hunt them down.